couple months ago, the YouTube algorithm recommended me a video about the United States and the moment they missed the World Cup. And today, we're going to react to that. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today, we have a wonderful video about the moment the U.S. men's national team missed the 2018 World Cup. And now that we qualified to the 2022 World Cup, it's much more enjoyable to actually. It was never enjoyable, but now it is because we're over that. And for that, I'm bringing a special guest, Maxwell, because he is actually the creator of the video and the host of the video. And the reason I brought him is because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So together, me and Maxwell today will be reacting to his own video. It's lots of fun. I put the video link on the description. Go check it out. Go subscribe to him if you haven't already. It's a wonderful channel. He does a tremendous job. All right, don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't. He has 16,000 likes on his video. It'd be pretty cool if we can hit 100. All right, with that said, thank you very much. Let's play the intro. Let's bring in Maxwell and let's start this reaction video. Oh, wait. Before we start, comment down below if you want us to do more reaction videos of different videos. And if you do, let us know in the comment section down below which video so I can contact the owner of the video and maybe we'll bring him along and do the same. All right, thank you very much. Now we can play the intro and now we can start the episode. All right, Maxwell, it's time. We got over the PTSD we had from not qualifying, and I think we're both now comfortable to rewatch this video, which, by the way, I hit the dislike button watching your video, but today, after we have fun with it, I'm willing to change it to a like button, and thank you for coming along. And thank you also for not putting a copyright strike on me.
Well, I don't know. If that dislike doesn't change, I have to consider.
Can you remind me at the end?
Yeah, I'll do that.
But today we're going to do this. We're going to go through this video once again. By the way, anyone that hasn't watched this video on its own outside of this reaction, I highly recommend. I'll put the link on the description. It's a beautifully made video. A little traumatizing from our past experience, but a great video that I watched months ago. And I thought it was time, now that we're qualified to the World Cup, to revisit it with some humor, have some fun with it. Right? Even though, Maxwell, you did a pretty darn good job already for us having fun during it. Shall we start?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. The day the U.S. men's national team failed to qualify for the World Cup 2018. And yes, we will be obviously pausing throughout the video.
It's about time I talk about some of the most daunting football memories I have. That's right. The United States 2018 World Cup qualification campaign.
Hey!
That's right. Of course, there's a quick plug.
Hey, one
This took like maybe 2 hours just to put together.
Join my
just this
Discord server today. Interact with many other
What was the results from the Discord?
It gained a good bit, I'd say, especially since the video still grows quite a bit.
Improve the server based on your feedback. If you want to join the community, the link is in the description. And if we can get this video to 250 likes, I'll get another
250. You hit 16,000, dude. 16,000.
Track.
Although being eliminated by the developing golden generation of Belgium that totally wouldn't fail at winning a single trophy for the next 7 years, the 2014 World Cup was
Julian Green.
Julian Green, man. What a
legend.
legend.
New or old to the sport were gathered at watch parties and bars being inspired by performances the U.S. displayed against giants like Portugal and Germany. And who could ever forget the storyline John Brooks header that sent the nation into a frenzy?
I had to resize that one clip just to avoid content ID like 3 times. That was so annoying, man.
What about now? You made this video that was in 2021, around it was in October of 2021. By then, we weren't really fully into the John Brooks, like frozen out of the he was out of the roster, right? But he wasn't. We didn't know that he was completely out. How do you feel about it now?
John Brooks, I mean, like, free my guy. Like October 2021, I didn't really have much of a change of mind. I just thought he was misused. I think that's the best way to put it. He's kind of like a tank figure, in all honesty. He runs at defenders, and there's just a whole gap in behind him. There's no one to cover that either. So, I mean, it's his fault there, but it's also the coach's fault for not, figuring something out there. That's one of our best defenders, and we should be using him.
He's probably
So-
our best ball-playing defender too.
Yeah.
Very good on the ball, making line-breaking pass. But again, it's funny that you put it there, John Brooks. And at the time, we didn't really see John Brooks as being frozen out of the national team, and now it's looking like he won't be in the World Cup. But anyhow, let's keep going here.
As the Americans finally got their revenge against Ghana. Now, 1 year later, the World Cup 2018 qualifiers were on the horizon. Even if they did lose 2-0 to Guatemala, the U.S. finished top of their group in round 4 of the
Man, I forgot we lost to Guatemala.
Into the infamous Hex. For those of you who don't know what the Hex is, it's basically just the final round of World Cup qualifiers in CONCACAF. It consists of one group of 6 teams. After the final round is over, the top 3 automatically qualify for the World Cup, while 4th place goes on to the Intercontinental Playoffs. The U.S. had finished first in the last 2 final rounds of CONCACAF qualifiers, so they were hoping to make it 3 in a row by the end of October 2017.
Oh boy, now it gets fun.
The U.S. squad had a lot of questions going into the Hex. For keeper, there was past prime Tim Howard and a 32-year-old Brad Guzan. Fullback was the biggest of them all. I mean, it really says a lot when Fabian Johnson is not only your best left back, but also your best right back. And he had superb versatility. But Fabian Johnson couldn't just stretch across the entire width of the pitch like Elastigirl or something. There was also young, bright talent DeAndre Yedlin, with great attacking ability.
Still young, bright talent.
Honestly, it feels like that sometimes, but it also feels like he's been with the team for eons now.
Yeah, I remember him emerging at the with the Sounders too, and then going to Premier League eventually, being in the Premier League.
That was huge. I remember when that first was announced.
And Fabian Johnson, man,
blistering pace.
That's a throwback.
And god awful defending.
Come on!
Track back yet.
Was at
For
that
center
stadium.
half, Jeff Cameron was the veteran, while promising John Brooks was not too far behind. Brooks was an established defender for Bundesliga club Hertha Berlin, and it gave Americans hope the defense wouldn't be in complete shambles. Because, man, if you look at the rest of the depth chart,
you didn't like Omar Gonzalez?
Omar Gonzalez. You know, it took me about 2 years to get over that own goal alone.
That was provided by Stars and Stripes FC. The first 2 options are a number 6 and a center forward, and the rest of the list. One thing to point out is that this article came out in March 2016. I get Pulisic didn't do much in his first few senior matches with Dortmund, but worse than mixed Diskerud? Did I mention that Fabian Johnson was also our best left winger? Oh, and
we needed Breck Shea in this team.
Yeah.
The less said, the better. Clint Dempsey for a while had been the U.S.'s best player. Josie Altidore usually was his striking partner, as the U.S. for the last 200 years had tried every single formation known to man to get the most of the two. Bobby Wood wasn't far off the pace and was another promising figure after displaying some incredible performances in his first caps against the Netherlands and Germany.
There's people asking for Bobby Wood to return to the national team, but no.
No.
The only city in which the U.S. can play, knowing the Mexican fans won't fill the majority of seats.
Wait. We played in Ohio?
Yeah.
Wow. That's been happening quite often lately, actually. But that's been a few years. Well, yeah, this was the...
U.S.-Mexico rivalry has a long history, whether it be the infamous Dos a Cero at the 2002 World Cup, Giovanni Dos Santos single-handedly dismantling the U.S. team, which I watched at just 10 years old on Univision. Funny Tall Man makes fun of short man.
Funny Tall Man.
My favorite, the Mexicans losing the Gold Cup to the USZ team. This rivalry over the years has made fans, American or Mexican, develop a fiery hatred for one another. 2 completely different footballing cultures clashing with nothing but pure resentment for one another. This is my kind of rivalry. The match began, and 10 minutes in, the U.S. already looked completely outclassed. By the 20th minute, we would witness a Michael Bradley masterclass as he gave the ball away, leading to a deflected Miguel Layún shot that went past Tim Howard. Just to make things worse, Howard then tore his abductor muscle, deeming him out of this match and the next qualifier versus Costa Rica. But in the second half, with Clint Dempsey missing in action, Bobby Wood came to
Bobby Wood.
Bobbito Wood, man.
Towards the 89th minute, after constant end-to-end entertainment, Mexico had a corner and the possibility to score. All right, pause. What the f***? Out of everyone you could have possibly left alone, you left Rafa Marquez wide open. And that's not even the worst part. Who's marking the back post? Woo! The U.S. performance overall was pretty underwhelming. The midfield in particular was appalling, with Michael Bradley practically being Mexico's 12th man with how many times he gave the ball away. However, Bobby Wood and Christian Pulisic gave the supporters some optimism with some decent performances.
I think the Hamburg days didn't do much well for Bobby Wood.
No, man, he should have stayed at Union.
Like week 16 when the U.S. traveled to San Jose to take on Costa Rica. History was not on our side. Los Ticos before the match had an all-time record of 8 wins and 1 draw versus the Stars and Stripes. But tonight was going to be a different story. Los Ticos made it 9 wins after they thrashed the 4-0. On November 21st, 2016, after a stretch of awful form, head coach Jurgen Klinsmann was sacked by the U.S. Federation. Well, now that he's gone, I guess.
I remember having to like do that scene because I screwed it up a couple of times, so I kept throwing myself out of my chair. Great times, man. Great times.
The thing was, even in that moment, we didn't. There was always like that thing. We never believed we were gonna miss the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was always a worry. But even in the last game, we're like, there's no way we missed the World Cup. The combination of results that we needed, along with not even getting a draw with Trinidad. But it happened. But let's keep going with this. Oh, Bruce, your boy. That's your favorite coach.
Boy, that's right.
Yeah, get ready. Okay, because of the Bruce Arena slander, you're getting a like.
Oh, let's go. No copyright strike for Filippo. That's great.
Thank you.
Going into their third qualifier against Honduras, the red, white, and blue were bottom of the table. But things only got worse when the U.S. had some injury problems, including Bobby Wood, Fabian Johnson, and DeAndre Yedlin. Even with the missing pieces, we're fine. We're going to have 11 good players on the field on Friday, Bruce Arena said in a press conference. And he was right, as the United States tore Honduras to shreds.
This was false hope at its finest, man.
Speaking of fashion,
fraudulent.
These red kits were nuts. But most importantly,
I have that kit.
Finally had a statement win that would bump them up to 4th with a +1 goal difference. Watch out, folks. The Americans are back on track. Spoke too soon? Quick analysis of the match. For all this talk about athleticism and strength the Americans always possess, they sure looked weak with Panama bullying them throughout the entire match. But 4 points in 2 matches. Not terrible, Bruce. The 5th qualifier versus Trinidad was held in the great state of Colorado. Christian Pulisic was truly bursting on the scene as he scored a brace to help the U.S. win 2-0, but that wasn't even the best part of the match. This was. Say what you will about how it took 50 minutes for the U.S. to finally break down Trinidad, but Arena's team had 2 wins in their last 3, bumping them up to 3rd in the Hex. But here came the team's biggest test. Mexico at the Estadio Azteca. This was a place where the U.S. had never won a qualifier at.
And still hasn't.
They still haven't. Oh, and don't forget, this was the year of our Lord 2017. This son of a bitch here didn't just add one. He added a lot of controversy. Gas station to the fire that is U.S.-Mexico relations. So now the U.S. not just the high altitude, but the extreme hostility.
Because you can't make political jokes and people get angry.
Or lack thereof. Now, before this match, all Michael Bradley knew was eat hot chip, ball watch, and lose ball. But today was different.
Pretty much, but he did score that banger.
Call it the damn Hail Mary if you will, but this was a dream start for the U.S. But you ever had that great dream at night? Maybe you just...
So this is just one thing we do need to say. That goal, they should have made a statue of Michael Bradley at the Azteca Stadium, in my opinion.
At the Azteca?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Just like keep any statues away from the U.S. I think I'll be happy with that.
That is true also. But we should probably just make a statue of Michael Bradley in the Azteca, and then many Americans will visit it. More Americans will visit it, you know? Just to go there and say thank you, Michael Bradley, for... Well, actually, we were kind of pissed off at Bradley until he scored that, so...
Yeah, we were.
Achieved your life's goals, where your brain played that dream where you were with her. Well, like all great dreams, you awake from them being greeted by the unwelcoming sound of your Apple alarm clock. Both teams had the chance to find a winner, albeit Mexico had better opportunities. But in the end, the match ended with a draw thanks to a
Brad Guzan
U.S. defense. It was just the 3rd time that the U.S. drew at the Azteca. Coming off a Gold Cup win, the Stars and Stripes had 2nd place Costa Rica and New Jersey. While all preparation for the match was going on, ESPN, on the other hand, were introducing this isolation camera. Basically, there would be a camera focusing on one star player. I personally like to call this the Zion cam. In theory, the idea sounds really cool, but that night, any viewer would have been disappointed. Costa Rica, in every aspect of the match, outplayed the Americans. And can someone tell me what the Michael Bradley is doing here? At that point, just don't even play a defensive midfielder. Honestly, that might have somehow worked better. And look at this Just San Pedro Sula, Honduras. The Americans badly needed a result. Bruce Arena before the match said, obviously the field we're playing on tomorrow, nobody plays on field.
Oh god.
So that's a bit challenging.
This is just something like Bruce Arena complaining about fields is one of the most Bruce Arena things to do at this point.
It truly is.
The Euro stars. Okay, let's go back.
This can happen. Remember, we mustn't forget that it's been raining, so the pitch is quite.
It's been raining. Yeah. Are you being serious? It's raining for both teams.
26 minutes in, Honduras picked out a great pass with Graham Zusi dusted. But no problem, Omar Gonzalez was still doing a good job on coverage.
Well covered by Omar. Reaches back though. Lozano has it. Tucks it around. Off the post and in. We cannot replace him.
The Stars and Stripes were already chasing the match. And if you remember, they needed at least a point. Honduras did a phenomenal job absorbing the attack and running on the counter. On a different day, this team wins 3-0, but in some miraculous sequence of events, a scuffle in the box sees the ball fall right to Bobby Wood, who thwarts it home.
Bobby Wood.
Bobby Wood. Kind of all right in this.
He kept us alive to qualify.
The man of 0 hits and 16,000 misses.
I know your opinions on Alexi might be a little different than mine.
He's my BFF.
The Belgium game ended 3 years ago. We need you to save the ball now. Clint Dempsey, yeah, you're a national team legend. Now we need you to be a national team leader. Michael Bradley, the U.S.
That's my BFF.
To be zen. The U.S. needs you to play better. Josie Altidore, is this really as good as it gets? Because it's still not good enough. Bruce Arena.
Back when Josie still had a hamstring.
Lost at home to Mexico. You lost at home to Costa Rica. This is now all on you, not Jurgen. Oh, and by the way, to all the guys that I didn't mention it because you don't even warrant to mention. That includes you too, Wonder Boy. So, what are you guys going to do? You're going to continue to be a bunch of soft, underperforming, tattooed millionaires? You are a soccer generation that has been given everything. You are a soccer generation who is on the verge of squandering everything.
You know things are f***ed. When Alexi, there's AC in the Qatari stadiums, Lalas is speaking nothing but facts. October's international break held the last 2 CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, and Bruce Arena's squad call-ups had many supporters concerned. Fabian Johnson was injured for a while, but played Mönchengladbach's last 2 matches with no problems.
Good pronunciation right there.
Johnson was left out completely. Say what you will about Johnson's bad form as of recent, but leaving out your most accomplished player in Europe and your most versatile player is a terrible decision. That wasn't the only awful decision, though. Striker Giassi Zardes was in the worst form of his career. He got called up by Bruce Arena.
Okay. So Berhalter overdid that now because he also called in Giassi Zardes while he was like, he literally was in a horrible form, and Berhalter still called him in. Then he's benched in Columbus by Barry. I believe Barry was ahead of him, and then he gets traded. So Berhalter outdid Bruce with Giassi Zardes.
I'm just glad it's over, or at least it seems like it's over. I hope it is.
We can only hope.
So added Benny Feilhaber and Chris Wondolowski.
Brazilian.
Jesus Christ, man. Luckily for the fans, though, Christian Pulisic saved us from all the Bruce-aids as the 18-year-old put on a show of nothing but attacking.
That was in Orlando.
He scored a goal, assisted another, helping the U.S. win 4-0 against Panama. And with that win, the United States...
We like to beat up Panama in Orlando. In a non-xenophobic way, right? Just soccer. That's what I meant. Oh, ads. These ads. I'm not giving them ads, man. Even though it's giving you some money right there.
Trinidad and Tobago managed just a measly 3 points up to this stage of the competition. Needing a win to guarantee World Cup qualification, this was a best-case scenario for the Americans. But before a ball was even kicked, there was quite a controversy, which really shouldn't have been. Bruce Arena mentioned he was not impressed with the pitch condition. The problem at hand was
of course
Trinidad Stadium, which had a massive flood around the track area, leaving many concerned. But while this was happening, there was this weird...
So, look at that. Fields like this would also not work for Greg. How is Greg going to do bounce passes with this puddle? The ball won't get the proper bounce. It won't work.
I mean, give it a little technique, you know, spin it off the water.
Do you think Greg is there yet? I think he's still improving. He's still working his way.
He'll get there. I think by like World Cup 2026.
Hopefully not with the USMNT national team.
Overconfidence you could feel in the U.S. camp. It was almost like they were overlooking Trinidad with the idea they were pretty much in the World Cup already. October 10th. Match day arrives, and lo and behold, the pitch is not even that bad. But 16 minutes in, Trinidad had a chance through Alvin Jones, whose cross was dealt with terribly by Omar Gonzalez, resulting in an own goal for the U.S. Not even a minute later, Trinidad should have had a penalty thanks to another Omar Gonzalez masterclass. But
Dude,
the US were
let me pause here real quick. You know what's crazy? Now, Bruce Arena goes to the Revs right now, and he makes sure, after this, he makes sure he brought Omar Gonzalez to the Revs. He's playing with Bruce Arena now. Well, I mean, I believe he's benched, but you get my point.
Away with no call. And just when you thought the Soca Warriors were done, Alvin Jones solidified that the US was his bitch as he scored a 35-yard screamer. It was 2-0 to Trinidad and Tobago.
Alvin Jones.
And at this point, I was in complete disbelief. Halftime finally arrived as many like myself wondered how the hell the US were going to turn this one around. The Americans throughout the entire first half had very few opportunities and not a single shot on target. But although losing terribly, the US were still qualifying if results stood in the other matches. The second half saw the...
And that was the crazy part about all of this.
Yeah.
Pulisic, who found the net early. It was now 2-1 with plenty of time.
Yeah, it was essentially, what was crazy was not even, well, losing to Trinidad was bad too because they were the worst team there, but the combination that just all happened for us to stay out was like, it just meant for us not to go.
No, like I just remember the US were down. I kept looking at the results. Okay, we're still in. And then I think it was around like the 75th minute where things just tumbled down, like a whole domino effect happened. Like Honduras, I think, drew or won. I can't remember there, but like Panama won against Costa Rica. All these different things kept getting announced throughout the last 15 minutes. And my depression just skyrocketed.
It also looked like we were going to actually pull a draw with Trinidad because we get that goal with Pulisic early on.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like we were going to actually be fine on our own, too, and it didn't, right? We scored that and we don't get anything after.
Find another goal or two. I actually believe we could have made a comeback like the good old
there you
days.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, how I was so wrong. The attitude didn't change at all after halftime. The team energy was genuinely lower than a FIFA career mode YouTuber working on episode 124 of their underperforming Road to Glory series. There was also not a lick of cohesion between the three lines. Nothing could possibly be created. And Michael Bradley covering our entire midfield was making me contemplate driving a fork through my eyes. Oh, what's this? Panama found an equalizer? Don't worry, we're still safe. You know, they just can't score again. Honduras have drawn level against Mexico for the second time, huh? Okay, but we're still qualifying, just as long as they don't...
Jesus, man.
The weirdest goal, man.
Still on the playoff spot. We'll be fine. Oh my god, f***ing kill me now. It took just 28 minutes for the US to go from 3rd down to 5th in the table. I remember seeing this fiasco in 240p quality thinking to myself, how the hell is quite literally everything going wrong? But more importantly, I thought to myself, why the f*** are we losing to Trinidad? You would think after hearing the news, the United States would push up the field and get some great opportunities. And thus ended the United States 2018 World Cup qualification campaign. They had a 93% chance of qualifying at the beginning of this match, and here they were standing at 0. It was inexcusable, and the players knew that, lying on the pitch in disbelief with some even in tears.
Oh boy.
A couple minutes after the match, I remember seeing people say, oh, we helped Mexico in 2014, why didn't they help us? First off, you're a f***ing idiot if you had that take. Secondly, why the f*** would Mexico or Costa Rica play for us? That makes no sense whatsoever. If the US can't beat Trinidad and Tobago, then they don't deserve to be in the World Cup. End of. This American team was so arrogant throughout the entire qualification process. This team made the Los Angeles...
It's just the vibe that Bruce Arena gives of arrogance, too.
And why? It's the US men's team we're talking about. We are universally considered terrible. How on God's green f***ing earth can there be arrogance? Did we really think we were hot shit beating Jamaica to win the Gold Cup? There was a once-in-a-lifetime moment in this godforsaken timeline where Alexi Lalas was actually speaking facts, and every player said, oh, Alexi doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, guess what, you f***ing fools? You committed the worst atrocity this sport has ever seen, proving Alexi right. And you, Bruce, you laissez-faire motherfucker. I knew from the very day the U.S. Federation brought you
Look at his face.
that we were so...
It's just so...
Every match was an eyesore to watch because you'd be outplayed in every aspect possible by head coaches who had significantly less resources. Not one time did you think, damn, maybe Michael Bradley can't be mayonnaise and N'Golo Kante. Oh, and don't even get me started on the heart-on this man had for the MLS during the era the league was considered a retirement home. Winning is a mentality. It's about fighting for every ball, hunting for every opportunity, staring down your opponent and saying, "You're not beating me today." Damn, Bruce, where the hell was this mentality during the Trinidad match? Staring down your opponent and saying, "You're not beating me today"? All you did was stare at the pitch and make excuses about how the surface wasn't covered by the most perfect blades of grass sent by the heavens. Oh, and you think I wasn't going to talk about you, U.S. Soccer Federation? It is because of you folks that our development is nowhere near where it can actually be. And hey, while we're at it, let's talk about pay-to-play, folks. Hey, Europeans, did you know on average it costs about $2,500 to $5,000 to join a club team? That's right. If you want to be the next Lionel Messi or Hwang Hee-chan, you can kiss your hopes and dreams goodbye if you and your family can barely even scrape a living in this capitalist poisoned world. Pay-to-play does nothing but hurt the development of the sports and alienate marginalized communities. With pay-to-play, you will never see a story like Gabriel Jesus. There's a reason why football is considered a rich white kid sport in this country. And to the people who have the counter-argument, well, nothing's stopping you from kicking a ball around with your friends, you are the football equivalent of poor, just get a job. Oh, homeless, just get a house. Okay, I'm done. With the U.S. officially not going to Russia, Bruce Arena resigned soon after the match. Disappointment could be felt throughout the entire nation. Fears that the game would stall and growth lingered, and of course the nation...
The only good thing is now the MLS academies, at least for the most part, they are being... There's issues in terms of territorial rights, but the pay-to-play aspect of it, the MLS academies are free. So that's been improving. But yeah, there's still many issues where you don't have enough clubs that just recruit the best and try to train kids for free, like there is in most countries. But they still haven't understood that if we develop enough players, you can sell them for millions to big clubs.
Yeah, dude.
So you're not really like giving the kids for free. You're developing them, and then you're going to profit a lot out of it. That's what a lot of South Americans see.
I think it's just they have the right idea with like the free academies, but everything else before then is extremely expensive and still is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't start somewhere, or you can't like, I guess, build up your skills, you won't even be able to join that free academy in the first place. So there just needs to be more improvement there.
Yeah, that's one thing. And I would hope the U.S. would have more of a pickup soccer culture. I think that's actually very important, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I played club and high school soccer, it was crazy because I had the contact of everyone, and it was still hard to get a pickup game going with like 22 players. Mm-hmm. While if you go to like Brazil, where I lived, it's actually hard for you to find a field because there's just so many people playing pickup, and that's how you get these highly skilled players. But that's for a
that's
different.
Kind of like that's like basketball, really. Here, it's very much the opposite. So yeah, if we just had more pitches, or just embrace a lot of pickup, culture.
And they train, and we have the best basketball players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
A worldwide laughingstock overnight. There was no feeling of heartbreak, just anger and disappointment. Waiting another 4 years to see the US potentially in the World Cup took some time to wrap around my head. I was angry, sick to my stomach. I didn't even want to go to school the next morning. And during the World Cup, Wells Fargo kept shoving this ad in our faces.
Wells Fargo and I are inviting anyone in need of a team to root for to join us in cheering for the Mexican national team.
F off, Landon. I'm not supporting Mexico. Now, 4 years after that infamous match at the Ato Boldon Stadium, the Stars and Stripes are in the middle of another World Cup qualification campaign. They're a promising bunch, but the trauma of Trinidad will loom over their heads, like an extra weight of pressure as this nation once again expects this team to qualify. I have hope, though.
I swear I jinx everything, because once I had Ricardo Pepi at the end of the video, he stopped scoring.
Really, that was
He'll be fine.
He should be fine.
I have now finally gone through the acceptance segment of the 5 stages of grief. I'm sorry the rate of video essays is like once a month. I'm going to try and make it a little bit quicker. But also what would help is if you guys supported the Patreon. That would just allow me to use some other resources to make this a quicker process, and also improve the video essays too. Speaking of Patreon though, shout out to our Patreon.
So y'all better join Maxwell's Patreon, all right? Or I'll come after all of you. Yeah. Let's finish this.
Patrons: Lewis, Emmett Shea, Dominic Griffin, Joseph Bonfante, and Tomicus. Be sure to follow my Twitter. I tend to update quite frequently about video essays on that platform. You can also follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok.
Did you see that? Your Twitter there had 500 followers. Right now, where are you? You're close to 7,000, 8,000?
I think it's like, wait, I don't check much often, but I think it's like 5,000, 6,000. I think.
Yeah, and it's been 8 months.
Yeah, it's been a very short amount of time. It's crazy, man. Like all this growth, I would have never seen coming. When this video came out, this was the video that really started it all. I didn't think it was going to do this well.
So this was the first video you had that you're saying that really just exploded?
Yeah, from day one, really. I don't really know why. Maybe it was because I posted like a clip on TikTok, basically of the rants section of it, and maybe people flocked to it that way. But looking at, I guess, like the stats that show you the other sources of how they get to your video, I mean, TikTok wasn't really anywhere near the top 5 or anything like that. So it was just kind of weird. It was a video that just did very well from the very beginning, and it just kept growing.
The algorithm recommended it to me. So I think it was just USMNT in the title, and USMNT was trending because of World Cup qualifying. And it was a good video too. Don't forget that. Like being a good video helps a lot.
Talk if you want, trying to get to 2,000, and you can also follow my Twitch.
Yeah,
until then, I'll see you guys.
All right. We did it.
We did it.
We finished it. Again, it's a great video. It's much more enjoyable to watch it now qualified.
Yeah.
Because then you can joke about a lot of the things that happen while we're not qualified. You're always afraid of it happening once again. Which, by the way, Maxwell, thank you very much for not hitting me with the copyright strike. Thank you very much for making this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. And anything else you want to add before you go?
Subscribe to Tactical Manager.
Or don't.
TV. Or don't. Oh, don't. Damn.
All right. And everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out the video from Maxwell and his channel. If you don't know by now, the link of the video is on the description. And go follow Maxwell on Twitter as well if you don't already. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great day.